Action
Carl
Jackson.
Weathers.
That's
You know
a
what I'm saying?
classic.
Carl Weathers got one off and shit. Like, bang.
Yo,
You know what I'm saying?
them
Like,
niggas had the his villain was Coach
It was Craig T. Nelson.
Craig T.
He was
Nelson.
he was having Vanity hooked on heroin.
yo,
Also,
son,
side note, how great were Vanity's boobies in that film?
they're great.
You
Every
didn't
time I
even
see
need
them.
to say in that film, just in general.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what
oh
I'm
no, they're
saying.
great. They're great, but like when you think of like 80s action movie titty,
hmm When
she's up there.
when she told Bruce Leroy, "You sure look like a master to me," it was the most just exciting thing I've ever seen. It like when she was like twisting her hair up and was like, "Oh, Bruce Leroy, what are you doing? You don't have to take it from Freddie. Vanity's gonna give it to you." I'm sorry, there was a different world
Yo,
reference in
son.
there. I don't.
Oh, we get
Y'all
it.
never
We
forgive
get it.
them for. I'll never forgive a different world for turning my favorite black action hero, Bruce Leroy, into a rapist. Please tell me y'all didn't see that episode. You didn't see
Oh,
that
I've seen
I don't
episode
every
want to
with
see
episode. I've
it.
seen every
I don't
episode
want
of
to
A
see it.
Different World. It's
I want to
you've
see
it's
it.
never.
it's I've seen every episode. It's my favorite. It's probably my favorite
I
sitcom
remember
ever.
him on there, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to remember that though. You know what I'm
He
saying?
was,
Like,
you know
I
what
But
I
it's
don't want
also
to
a
mean.
tell my
sign.
memory about
No,
what he
but it's
made.
also a sign of a good actor when you can have a beloved role and then be like really hated in something else. Like,
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
feel
because
me?
Bruce Leroy was that guy, and then you know what I mean. He was Garth, the baseball player. You know what I'm saying, and had Freddie in the hatchback trying to get right, and
He was trying to get right, and
things
and
things went awry.
right. Freddie said no. He should have left it at no. With all that martial arts discipline and training, he should have
see,
known better.
but I don't think he was a real live karate man at that point
No,
in
he
time.
is. He's a real live karate man.
Yeah, that's what I got him. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Uh,
What was his
Y'all,
acting name? Is it Tamark? T-Mark?
uh,
Timeout,
time out. Yeah.
timeout.
Yo,
Yeah,
y'all remember that little Asian boy? You know what I'm saying? They used to
from
get big with
Sidekicks,
Ernie and shit. Ernie.
Ernie Reyes Jr.
Ernie Reyes Jr. He also played a Ninja Turtle. He was also in Surf Ninjas.
Yes,
That nigga was live, yo.
so
That's a good movie. That movie slept on, Surf Ninjas. It's probably one of Rob Lowe's finest movies ever.
sheesh.
And there ain't many.
That's not much to ask for. You know what I'm saying? It's not much to ask for.
Well, I mean, he said on MTV Cribs, "Welcome to the house that Adam Sandler paid for." So, like, it's nice to have the big homie that's going to put you in a couple of things. I mean, in Big Daddy, he literally was probably one of the most entertaining parts in Big Daddy. Oh, I know you. You ordered 3 pieces of cheesecake, and then they started fighting. Hip hop anonymous. What?
Yeah.
He's trying to spell like hippopotamus. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Mhm. It's crazy
So
to get
good.
paid for that little work, man. And just having good connections, man.
Let me tell you something. Once Black Wrestling blows up as a pay-per-view, as a podcast that I can start producing, I'm just riding the coattails, brother. Just sitting back and just enjoying, riding the coattails. Be like,
As you should. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, so Sparks, if you don't know, started. Can I? I mean, you tell me when I can't say what I can say. You know what I'm saying?
you just go. Just go.
Sparks basically he lit the fuse for the WWE podcast network and all that.
Big facts.
You know what I'm saying? The nigga killing it, doing super numbers on Renee. I don't want to say Zellweger.
No, it's Paquette. Listen, let's get this right out the way. It's Paquette.
Okay.
Renee Paquette.
It's French.
It's French. Yes, French.
So him and Renee Paquette.
Paquette. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Is it a Q that's
yeah,
confusing
Renee
you?
Dupree. That's what I thought too.
Oh.
No, maybe it's I don't know. Maybe Brother Fam thinks the Q is difficult to pronounce, but it's easy to say. It's Renee Paquette.
Yeah. Renee, picture frame.
Picture frame.
Nah, but they're doing like I mean millions of numbers. Sparks is popping up on Vice TV with MLW doing commentary. Well, not commentary, but you know what I mean, doing analysis. And
I'm
you
giving
had
a
suit,
social commentary on the world of professional wrestling
you had a
via
suit jacket on,
MLW
man.
embedded. I
They
did.
put
I
a
look good
sport
that
coat
day.
on you. They
No, I
put a
put that sport
coat.
coat on myself, actually. They wanted
Oh, okay.
business casual. I thought, let me show up and just be the handsome man that I am. So it's like, I like to get dressed up and wear a suit anyway. And the whole pandemic, I really can't get dressed up. I mean, I wore a suit when I was with WWE on the road every single, week on TV. So it was nice to have two suits on deck, each and every week. So now I got excited getting up and packing my suit and getting dressed in the dressing room. I had the nice like snakeskin boots on. I had like the paisley pocket square. I mean, like I looked all right.
Vince said you like joking the Edge's house with all your drip. That's a wrestling reference.
For sure.
All this talk, what else is it that you are doing, Sparks? You know what I'm saying? What else would the people have seen you in previously?
Besides Wrestle Rap, Wale Mania, I produce another podcast for Corey Graves and Carmella called Bear With Us. It's a relationship podcast that they do. I'm also a producer of Talkin' Shop with Gallows, Anderson, and Rocky Romero. I was featured in their pay-per-views, which you can watch on Fight TV, Talkin' Shop Mania 1 and 2. What else? What else? I do a podcast with the mighty Vin called Wrestle Rap. Yeah, I don't know. I'm everywhere. Twitter, I don't know. Bumble, Tinder, I don't know. I'm just everywhere.
Jesus Christ, watch yourself. I'm saying, watch yourself.
Wait a minute. Do you have I'm sorry. Do you have a bad Bumble or story? What was the name of it?
Oh, I have an anthology, but I will not share it to the show.
You don't have anything. You don't have anything
I've
shareable?
I've never really had anything crazy pop off like that where I was being catfished and it was somebody else. Luckily, I've been single for a very long time, so I know how to navigate these streets. And I always ask for, hey, let's FaceTime first so I can be comfortable with you, because it's all about boundaries and parameters and things of that nature. And to be honest with you, I've always had like a pleasurable experience. Like I've never had like one time years ago on Plenty of Fish, but that was like a decade ago, man, when I was like right around college. So I was just like, yeah.
But see, here's the thing, what I'm saying? I was married for a long time, you feel me?
Yeah.
Jump back into the social media game, you feel me?
Oof.
Start trying shit out, and it's like, oh, you got pictures of other people. You know what I'm saying? You got excuses for not making it places. You got a lot of things. So it's a little wicked if you don't know the game.
Brock, how many years were you out of the dating scene?
Sheesh. Probably 16 altogether.
Okay, so it's a completely different world for you then, because
I mean, yeah.
Listen, I get it. You're used to the world being a completely different thing before you even get married, right? You know what I mean? Like we still had to go out to bars and clubs or just certain social circles.
Yo, we used to legitimately accosted women to meet them. We would go into a club and walk up behind them and press our junk on their back, and they look back to see if they thought we were cute, and if we were cute enough, they would dance. But they got accosted first.
I've never done that.
But see, you're not acknowledging the two-way street, because if a woman really liked you, she would come butt first to you, though. You get
that
what I'm saying?
A fact. So then you were accosted as well. Yeah, there's the culture.
Okay, if you want, that's cool. Yeah.
There was just a lot of touching, no matter what, just going on.
Yeah,
like
just violating boundaries and shit.
I had it easy because I was a DJ. And I would always DJ. Like there was like several spots. I'm from Staten Island, so there was several spots in Staten Island that were always Poppington. So like I made sure that I was always DJing on the dope nights. And then, They would flirt with you to try to play their song. Like, I'm in the middle of playing some really dope stuff. There's no way I'm playing Britney Spears right now, Mom. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Or I'm not playing Katy Perry. This is not the atmosphere for that. Like,
Right.
you know,
right.
I was a hip hop, reggaeton DJ, you know, and then like towards the later part of my career, I started to like incorporate some EDM and like, you know, electronic dance music like that. But like most of the time, like you knew the crowd. So they would come up to you, these girls, and they'd have a couple of drinks and they would flirt and be like, hey, could you play this? I was like, listen, maybe later, you know, whatever. And then you would build a rapport with these ladies. And then after that, it was just like, hey, let's go on a date or whatever. Now it's completely flipped. You can't even digitally put your junk on somebody. You can't pull an Earl. You can't do it. You know what I mean? Like it's physically impossible to pull an Earl. Like you can't do that. I find it sometimes odd, and I don't know if you've this happened to you yet, but like sliding in a DM is a bit weird because I'm just judging, because all I'm doing is looking at the metadata on my phone that you have curated to make sure that I know what I need to know, and you're presenting yourself at the highest level, right? And we're guilty of it too. My Instagram is super curated, right? I just want all the cool pics. I want to make sure the beard's right. I want to make sure the hair's done, the whole nine, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like you build up this imaginary assumption of a person before you even get to know the real person. So now you're talking to this like fake person. It's them, but it's just them being something that maybe that they're not.
But see, here's the thing about that. So, like I said, I spent 16 years out and then probably like 6 years in this social media area. I learned fast. So when you talk about stuff like that, they're also telling you everything that all the candy, all the things that piques their interest and things like that. I wouldn't go into any situation on Instagram sliding into a DM thinking that I'm going to build a meaningful relationship with a woman.
You can't. Well, you can't think about it that like you could though. You could.
You can. But even in that sense, I can still kind of cultivate that relationship and have some type of discipline on how I talk to her and understand this digital space is a real space.
Yes.
So I don't have to, you know, I can see her posting something every day and get to know her digitally. You know what I'm saying?
But what they're posting, is it really like of substance and quality? Like, is it really like peeking into? Exactly. But you know, some of the women that I've seen on Instagram that I've you know chatted with or even went on dates, they're just showing you like, the vanity part, like going out on a Friday night. It's Friday night girls' night or whatever, or like this girl's going out on a Thursday night. Like, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Of course.
So that's the thing, but it is odd because we're from a different generation that you had to meet people physically. And then you would say, hey, listen, we're kind of vibing. Do you want to do this over dinner? And then maybe we go hang out, we do something cool. Now it starts with you're liking some photos, they like you back, right? Then you're having a conversation or like you're looking through and seeing what their interests are, right? They're showing you all like the sugary treats. Then it's like, okay, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. And sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. But then the crazy part about all of it is as well, is that the vanishing. Either you ghost on them or they ghost on you. And I have been notorious for ghosting. Not explaining why.
I'm ghost dad. I've done it plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? No Bill Cosby, but I'm ghost dad. But what I will say, though, like at the same time, I don't gravitate towards. Gravitate towards women with a smaller social media profile. So it's like you're not putting a whole bunch of stuff out there. You know, it doesn't dictate your life. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, if I met somebody on a dating site and I in turn look at their social media profiles and they have a lot less of a digital imprint, I'm like, oh, all right, cool. This doesn't like dictate your life like that. Like you're not one of these ones like, oh yeah, look at me doing this, look at me doing that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody uses social media right now. You know, it's no way around it. You know what I'm saying? But if you dating somebody, whether you meet them in the streets or wherever, like if you meet somebody on the streets right now and they got 70,000 followers. Like, damn, like what the fuck Shorty trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is she trying to be a model? What is her life like?
But does that matter though?
It doesn't.
I don't think if even if you got like a blue check or whatever, like, yo, that's cool for you. I'm not really looking at that. I'm looking at like what's the meme that you're like posting in your story or whatever.
Well, that's a fact too. That's a fact too. But I think it's also your followers and things are currency right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, yeah, they look at we all look at
somebody's willing to do a lot more wild ass shit to maintain that type of profile when you meet them. You know what I'm saying? If you meet somebody that has 500,000 followers and shit, chances are they did a lot of things to keep moving that along and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you probably won't have a organic interaction with them and shit unless you are.
I don't think there's any real organic interactions when it comes to, you know, social media in general.
Yeah.
What some of the, like when you slide in the DM or the DDM, as I like to call them.
Outstanding.
What are you? What's the message? What are you saying?
When I was back out there, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, so let's preface this by you're out of the streets now.
I'm out of the streets now.
That's it. You're wifed up.
So,
you're good.
Right. So more so than often, I would look at a woman and see what she's into, see how she operates, and just kind of comment on things that she posts and try to create an organic conversation with her versus like, hey girl, how you doing? You know, what's up with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, just like endear myself to her.
Oh, you know, see, I'm not even doing that.
Yeah, that's it.
All I've been using lately. Hey, do you want to rob a house as our first date?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You might as well just say like something more salacious. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's it. Like you can't get any more left than saying, "Hey, you want to rob a house as a first date?"
Yeah, but
like,
or what if they really want to rob a house?
Hey, sweetheart.
If they want to go rob a house, then I guess you call my bluff. I guess we got to do it.
But I'd rather call my bluff on some shit that I really want, though.
No, but here's the deal, though. I can even flip it, and I would call like my cousin or my aunt and uncle, or ask my parents, "Hey, listen, I'm just gonna pretend to break into the house. I'll steal some of grandma's jewelry. I'll bring it back. She don't gotta know that this is my house. Like, we're good. Don't worry about it." Or like I'll say, "Hey, listen, you got an option: pumpkin patch or breaking and entering. What do you want to do? Like, let's do something old fashioned. Be a couple by fall."
If I was gonna go that hard, I would say, you know, like, let me fuck you in the back of a McDonald's parking lot and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's tame.
Same type of fucking you know, like you're still you measuring the results. You know what I'm saying? Like breaking into a house is gonna still be shocking to somebody. Like,
to me, it's either ski mask ways or ransom notes. What do you want to do?
Yo, it's Biggie Smalls.
I just watched his special today, man. Rest in peace, Biggie, man.
Yeah, man.
What does a broccoli Balboa jumper sound like though?
A jumper?
You mean like?
I mean, if you're shooting the shot, all right. So now, are you married or you just in a serious relationship?
I'm in a serious relationship.
Okay, so now, how did you get the lady that you're with right now? Was it in? Did you slide in the DDM? Did you shoot the shot, as the kids say?
Something like that. But I've never really any girl that I've ever been with, I've never like hollered at her. You know what I'm saying?
But Brock, you're dancing around the question right now, my
I'm
God.
not. I'm trying to give you like my example of how I get a woman. You know what I'm saying?
I want to know, how did you get the one that you're with now?
Oh yeah, slide in the DMs. You know,
so you slid in the DDM,
right?
And so you looked at basically their peak interests, and you were like, "Hey, your peak interests kind of complement my peak interests. Let's go get some cheesecake."
Say there, sister. I don't indulge in any meat either.
You know what? I'm very simple, yo. If you're looking for like how I approach them, it's like, hello, how are you? How you doing?
Right.
That's it.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hello, how are you doing? And then if I see other pictures, I'll comment on those pictures. I keep it a real timeline. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do all
So you're not gonna say, "Hey, want to rob a house"?
Nah.
I mean, I guess
I mean, if I seen her picture, I liked her, and she was saying something about robbing the house, maybe I'll say that.
I mean,
Like,
I'm trying to dance with the devil by the pale moonlight then, because
Oh, shit, yeah. So it looks like Vince got a question. He said, "Let me throw this out here. Do you find yourself gravitating online more to women with more out there quirks or weirdness to them? Because it's like if they're putting this out there, they're probably not hiding a whole lot."
Jesus Christ. You got a lot on your heart, brother.
Yeah,
Yo.
he does. He does.
Vince
I want to know
is a
who. I want to
thoughtful
know.
guy.
I want to know the girls
You
that
gotta
Vin
answer this
dates.
question though, man. You can't leave him hanging. He put too much work in. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot.
Let's see. Do we find yourself gravitating towards women more with the quirks? And yes, because anybody can post the pictures where
Gotcha.
they're like taking the selfies and they're angled and they're like this or whatever, right?
Oh no,
like,
I'm not with that. I'm not with that.
But like, if you give me something where I don't know, you're doing graffiti or something or whatever, you know what I mean, or you're like fucking eating a sword or you're spitting fire. Chances are my interest is piqued because I want to see you eat fire.
But see, you gotta put them in a certain pile and shit. Like you eat fire, my nigga. You eat fire. So
But why not though? Why not? Well, let's go. Let me go against the grain of what I was dating before.
No. That's cool. That's cool. But I'm saying I'm not gonna treat the girl that's eating fire the same way I see the girl that's on picnics with a family and shit. Like
You should though. You have to treat them all with the. You have to treat them all with a level of respect. And then when you find out what tickles your pickle with them, and you know what tickles their pickle, like then you're like, all right, cool. I can watch you eat fire, and then maybe I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against anybody, but I want you to eat fire around me and shit.
I don't mind.
I want children.
I don't know.
You eat fire, yo. Like,
I'm good. Do what you got to do. Whatever. Do what you got to do.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily attracted to women just by their quirkiness and weirdness, just to answer this question or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like when I start talking to you, and then what you posted matches, and you can continue to match that. I'm with you, shorty. That's where I go.
So, I think it probably boils down to like what your purpose is, though, too. Because if you if you're where Vin was talking about, where you're kind of looking for the quirky joint, just because you want to try something different, you're not looking to. Man, you want a new flavor, like, you know what I mean? All right, I've had tequila, I've had rum. Let me try some of this bourbon. You know what I'm saying? And I think people that are, I guess, like out there and trying to look like really like just looking for experiences, they're gonna do that. But people who are looking for like a mate, you know what I'm saying, a potential long-term mate, they're gonna look for those qualities that you are either you require in a woman, or you know what I'm saying, or that you require, or that you don't have and that you need. You know what I'm saying? You'll look for those things too. I think
it would just be cool to be like, hey guys, I started dating a magician. Look what she can do with this penny.
That's gross.
But it can't just because she's a magician though. It's
you have to listen. At first, let's keep it a buck. At first, the reason why you're all up in the dum is either the looks or the cool thing in which that they are presenting to you. Then secondary is all the stuff that you find out are those endearing qualities that you like, or these qualities that put up the red flag and you're like, I'm out of here. But if she's going to be like David Blaine and suspend herself in like Jell-O for 6 days and magically pop out after the 6th day, I'm going to be like, guys, look what she did with Jell-O. Come on. Like, look what she's doing with the Jell-O.
I think you're proving my point though. I think
I am. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Brock's looking for one thing, and you're the experienced guy.
I am.
You know, it's funny. I just had this conversation with one of my other homeboys or whatever. But he was saying I like traditional women, and I was like bucking back, like, what the fuck do you mean by that?
That makes actually, from what I know about you, that makes perfect sense.
But here's the thing though. There's no such thing as a traditional woman and shit. Like you don't know what. You can't like narrow that down. I think that it was narrowed down as like I like traditionally pretty women.
Okay.
I value beauty
Mhm.
before I value like experiences. That's what I was trying to add on to what you were saying and shit. Like I want the prettiest
Okay.
woman I can find and shit. Like that's higher on the scale of the spectrum for me.
You're
You know what I'm
saying
saying?
she could be beautiful, but dull as paint.
No. There's a spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
there's a spectrum. You know. But if she was a magician and ugly as fuck, I don't give a fuck. I'm not
He was
ever
like, "Can
doing
you
that.
please pull a trick and change your face?"
Right. But if she was a beautiful woman that was ugly, I mean that was stupid as shit, I can't do nothing with that. It's a
That's
spectrum. You know what I'm saying? I have a meter.
Sure.
it's like
Sure.
it's like sliders. You know what I'm saying online.
Right.
You know what I'm
Manslaughter.
saying?
Yeah.
If she can shoot, you know what I'm saying. She don't have to necessarily be able to rebound the ball. And on that note, welcome to the Where's Buffy podcast, where we're built for comfort and not for speed.
Hashtag shooting the five.
Yeah, it's the Where's Buffy podcast, where we're built for comfort.
And now for speed, you old dating David Blaine and Chris Angel. I don't know.
Mind freak.
I'm making up shit. Mind freak bitches dangling from the ceiling. She disappeared when she come. Mystique bitches.
Oh,
I'm done, yo. I'm done.
I wish the post-coital awkwardness would just be like them vanishing. Or me vanishing.
Or they turning to all your favorite women in the world and shit, like Mystique. You know what I'm saying? You just like bang, bang, bang.
And then I'm keeping her around forever then. Then I'm keeping her around forever.
Standing. I am IlFam79 on your social media choice, aka the R. Anderson of podcast, and aka Captain Broadbano, Brew Diamond Phillips, Sticky the Dragon Steamboat, Podchat God's favorite podcast, the Piper from their podcast, Chew Bubblegum, and I'm fresh out of Identity and Ice, and my tag team partner.
It's your boy Broadley Bellboy, aka Russell Westbrook, aka Veggie Miller, aka Mr. 51 pounds down accountant. But who's counting me because I'm petty? Petty Kruger making means while you dream. Sauce Perot, Brockavelli, Peg Grills, Juice Leroy, Kimbo Christ saving them off on their whack ass vices, and also Black Fabio, nipple your neck, double breasted, pink luster, moisturizer all in my hair. You know what I'm saying? Looking like goddamn Don Cornelius. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you feel me? Jumping out of conversion van, doing my thing. You feel me?
Hi,
Always.
I'm Emilio. Nice
Emilio.
to see yous.
Nice to see you.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey man, are y'all watching? Are y'all watching? Shout out to Sparks, Emilio Sparks. Y'all know him from all over the internet, all over TV. Sparks from Staten Island, right?
Yes.
Are you guys watching the Wu-Tang show?
No,
I haven't watched it.
My gosh, fellas.
no, I'm good. I'm
I'll
good.
watch it.
I hear great things,
Mhm.
but I lived it as a fan, and I want to remember it the way I remembered it, from a context of just it being pure and enjoying the 9 prophets from Shaolin, and being part of the street team and putting up all the album posters and all of that stuff, and hanging out, and that's it. Like, I'm good.
So let me ask you: do you guys remember Remedy?
Yes.
One of the so you remember the Noriega situation with the he threw out that the F word, the flunkies.
The Woo affiliates.
Yeah, Woo affiliates, respectfully.
Respectfully, the Woo affiliates.
Yeah, they're the Wu-Tang offshoots. Who is everybody's favorite non-poor
so-
artist.
Okay. So I'm gonna go really obscure because I don't know if anybody else would know them, but we knew them in Staten Island. They were part of a compilation, and it was Apocalypse and the Ruthless Bastards.
Huh? Was Pudgy in that group?
No.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. Apocalypse is probably the greatest rapper that nobody really like. Like Pac can spit, man. You know, outside. Listen, obviously the Grave Diggers, yes, but that was like they reached their own thing. Like they reached their own like success. But if we're just talking about like part of that Wu affiliate for a while, it was Apocalypse and the Ruthless Bastards.
I'm going with Killer Sin. You know what I'm saying? Killer Sin is my man and shit.
Like actually your man's, or you just that's like,
nah, I don't know that nigga.
That's
but
my
I'm just
guy.
saying,
You said that's my guy.
Who was my favorite? You know, Wu affiliate. You know, offshoot.
All right, I'm gonna tell a quick like non. So, you know how cuz let a story go. He telling all the names and all that. I'm not doing that. I had a home girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to community college, fresh out of high school, and I didn't have a car, so needed a ride home. There was a young lady I went to regular high school with, and she had a car, so I used to catch her with her home, and she's she's not an attractive girl, half Asian, half black, and dudes was into her. So she used to kind of, she used to use that at that time, to get away in the rap shows. And one of her repeat was like whenever they came to Maryland, Killer Sin would be, that was his Maryland piece.
Oh, he smacked your shit. He smacked your joint.
No, that wasn't mine. That was just a homie. That was just a ride home. That wasn't me.
Also, you weren't Eskimo brothers.
No, that's gross.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you guys almost got me a Hampton and shit. I always say that shit all the time. You guys almost got me a Hampton and shit. You almost got my shorty. You feel me?
Was she built like?
But there was so. To me, there's so many good Wu-Tang affiliates. Though. See, as I quickly pivot from this conversation because I know where this could go.
She had a super freak physique though. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all are nuts, man. Y'all are nuts.
Absolutely.
Y'all are nuts. But yeah, Killer Army was dope. Ninth Prince was dope. Sons of Man was dope. Prodigal Son. So like,
oh yeah.
Give me.
I would have to. I'm gonna go with, and I don't know if he counts because I don't know if he was actually a Wu affiliate, but he said like Shaolin. So, and everybody else is really just from Staten Island. But like this nigga was. You say Shaolin, we think, especially not from New York, we think you affiliate.
You Wu-Tang. Well, that was the thing too, though. Like like if you were starting to buzz and bubble on your own. Then like, oh, well, now you got to hang with us and we'll make you even hotter. And then it never really happened. And you're like, well, damn, now what? So, it was kind of like being from Staten Island was a gift and a curse because you could pop and be really dope in Brooklyn and then be your own thing. But in Staten Island, any rapper was under that like spider web of the Wu-Tang for a little while.
How many Wu-Tang members were actually from Staten Island? 4? I know it's
Ghost.
Old Dirty was from Brooklyn.
Old Dirty was from Brooklyn.
So was Jizza.
Jizza. Master Killer is from
Master Killer. Meth was from Staten.
You guys from Staten.
Okay.
You guys from Staten.
You got Meth.
Raekwon and Ghost.
Raekwon and Ghost.
Ray, Ghost, and RZA. So 5.
But RZA went
That's
back.
That's 1.5.
Right?
So, huh?
Yeah.
But RZA went back and forth though, right?
But he went back and forth between Stateway and the Park Hill.
Oh, okay.
Which is in Staten Island.
Right. Both of them. Yeah, he's from Staten Island.
He's from Staten Island.
Yeah, RZA's a Staten Island guy. So yeah, so
So
but yeah.
So what you saying? Like Brooklyn got a claim on, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you could see.
Wu-Tang, is that
I
what
mean,
you're saying? Is that what you?
I mean,
implying?
you could say it, right? But like predominantly, you know, Staten Island is the Wu-Tang, so you can say, you know, guys like the RZA is from Staten Island, like Staten
Right.
Island, New York. Like we could probably Wikipedia this right now, like.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Staten Island, Ghostface, Staten Island. Like,
Yo, this is
but then you have
hilarious.
your
Shout out to
cousin.
Vin.
What is he saying?
Vin saying, you remember the Asian ladies with the bootleg CDs that would walk up the cars in line at like Taco Bell, and 40% of their bags be full of Wu affiliate albums they try to overhype and sell.
Yes,
that a thing?
absolutely. Yes, that
Huh.
was a thing. I remember.
I remember
the
Deadly Venoms.
5 Deadly Venoms. I remember that, you know, some of these bootleggers would come into the gym that I work out in and would lay out the paraphernalia on the counter and just be like, do you need Hot 97 volume 3000? Do you need, you know, this album that just came out 2 weeks ago? Do you need Nellyville?
No,
Like-
I've never needed Nellyville in my whole
Like
entire
there
life.
was so many, that's what they would do is shopping bags, tons and tons of shopping bags. And even they would run
Yeah.
up to the car too and be like, hey, listen, we have such and such. Do you need?
It's funny that you mentioned Nellyville, and this is weird, but
Let's
I
go.
would say like Wu-Tang for Staten Island had the same effect that, you know, like Nelly had for St. Louis and shit.
You got to rep.
Anybody that would have come out of St. Louis would have had to have some connection to Nelly or some type of mimicking of his style and shit. Like that happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? With these places that are so close to a bigger city, and you expect it to come out that way, but it's like, oh no, if you don't sound like this, then we're not
Right.
fucking
And
with
there's a reason why nobody from Staten Island blew up after the Wu-Tang.
it. Yeah.
Because record labels were trying to find that
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang sound
Yeah.
that they popularized all through mainstream commercial urban music.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
So it's like, no, but everybody in Staten Island for a long period of time. And I used to have a popping. When I tell you, and Vin could probably, like, my college radio show was prime time. And every single Staten Island artist, up until about, I want to say 2010, sounded the same.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing changed. Now you have this younger crop of artists that come out, right? Like the kid CJ. He had a record. My brother taught him. So his record was popping in Port Richmond High School when he was like graduating, right? Then you had this cat named Lou the Human, Staten Island. Like, so his records were popping. Like, so it's like, but they had this different sound that is popularized by like that SoundCloud, you know, rap era.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were growing up, everybody sounded like the Wu. And that is the reason why nobody else blew up in Staten Island after that. There's a reason why, like, you can go into Brooklyn and you can name 7 different artists in Brooklyn. Let's just say from the same area. They're all going to sound unique and they're all going to sound different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Jay-Z sounds different than Black Moon. Biggie sounds different from Black Moon.
Yeah.
You know, like you could like there were so many, like, you know, there were just so many
You got
different.
Most Def. You got Most
Most Def sounds different from Biggie.
Right,
Like, so
yeah.
everybody, like, even though they were from Brooklyn, they had a unique sound to them. Where in Staten Island that wasn't the case, and you wanted it to be the case because you wanted to wave the flag for somebody else. Because when Wu-Tang Forever dropped, we thought that was gonna crush the shiny suit era.
But see, but this
And when it didn't, you're like,
but see,
it
this
was
is the only
deflating.
thing I would say, yo. Like at the same time, you had a 9 MC group. You will never see that. You never see that again.
And also,
9 MC group. That's hold up. Let me say this to you. That's like encompassing MC Shan, Nas, fucking LL, everybody from Queens. Like, let's take 9 MCs from Queens and shit and saying like, okay, yeah, of course they sound different, but y'all had a fucking big collection of people at one time to come out. So
And none of them niggas sounded. Well, that's the thing too. is none of the Wu-Tang guys sounded the same, right? So you got
Right.
9 guys separately that sounded different. So
at one time, like,
but they create
all
a
that.
language and a culture
oh yeah, from two
within
presidents.
within their own little universe, so to speak, within a bigger, like, you know, pie in the hip hop world.
They
Right,
still
right.
probably call
Similar-
it Shaolin.
Similar to what Cam and Dipset were doing in Harlem,
Yeah.
where the lexicon of speech was different. So if you're in Harlem and you're listening to, you know, Dipset speak, and then you're getting into that, it's going to be completely different from another local rapper trying to blow up, because you can't emulate that.
Oh no, not at
You
all.
can try. You can try to emulate that, but it's very, very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And there were cats in Staten Island that were trying to emulate that Wu-Tang lexicon, and it just did not work because these guys believed in what they believed in.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know,
Most
so
definitely.
like even like it's funny if you I don't know how many cats outside of New York or Staten Island specifically were wearing Wallies.
Oh, we wore them down here.
Oh, you were warmed up. Okay, cool.
Like
but that
after
just goes
the Wu. After
right,
the
but
Wu.
Well, yeah, we wore them because of the Wu.
because of the Wu, but that is like the stretch and the reach of the culture that they created within their world, because they wanted to bring you in to what they seen, what they tasted, what they wore, and how they spoke.
Most definitely.
That was so.
And when
the
that's
last
in your
thing, I
backyard-
looked at a pair of
Yeah.
Wallies this week. I looked at a pair of Wallies this week that the kid, you know, y'all ever seen the guy Sycamore that does the Wallies?
Yeah,
Yo,
he customizes them and shit. Yeah,
he had some cement ones that were insane.
yeah. I miss wearing Wallies, but I wore them in
So
high
it's
school.
still it's still there. It's like still like you can still throw a pair of Wallies on and get right.
But to me, that's the importance of a group like that, because if you can infiltrate pop culture, your legacy is cemented. Listen, we can say the first 2 albums, certified classics from start to finish, because you can. Their second one was a little bit more ostentatious in regards that it was a double EP. That was a double, yeah, it was a double EP. No, it was a double LP.
Double LP.
You know what I mean? So you had all that. And the fact that the lead single, there was no hook. It's just straight rapidy rap for almost 9 minutes. And at the time, before everybody had attention spans like fruit flies, you would play Forever. So you would hear Triumph on the radio, and you're listening to that for almost 7 minutes.
That's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie to you, but around the 6-minute mark, kind of dipped down and shit. I don't know.
Of
who
course
rapping
it-
around that time and shit.
Of course it did. But
it kind of
You
does.
can say Jizza
And
and
I'm
Master
not saying
Killer.
because anybody's lyrics. I'm saying more so, you know, the beat gets lower. If
Fatigue.
you listen to it, it starts rising back up again when Ghost and Ray starts rapping at the end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, look at all these crab niggas laid
Yeah,
back.
niggas laid back, laughing like them grand, you know what I mean? All that shit. You feel me? So, yeah, but definitely I listened to that shit front to back, and I was anticipating. You know what I mean?
but also I think too, what it comes down to is like, and I'm lucky that I've interviewed these dudes. They came to a college radio station. It was crazy. But like so when we had Inspector Deck on years ago, he was like, I had no choice. So they're like, Deck, you're first. So I had to I had to start the tone, because if I didn't, like, it would have to, like, I can't. So he has 2 of the most recognizable verses in all of hip hop. And he said that, like, I had to set the tone, and then everybody else had to raise the bar up after
Which ones
that.
are you referring to? Which ones are you referring to?
I bomb atomically, Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses.
No. You said 2 verses in hip hop history. That verse and what other verse?
I smoke on the mic like smoking Joe Frazier, the Hellraiser, raising hell
I
with the
think
flavor.
he got 3. I think he got 3.
What's the third? But
Kick the
opening
back
verse
you.
though.
Shorty's
Opening
not
verse though.
Yo,
Jordan's not listening to what I'm kicking
Yo.
in.
True. Yeah.
he's
But
got
opening
one that's
verse.
not on the Wu record. I leave scientists mentally scarred, triple extra large, wild like
Rock
rock
stars with smash. No. But what I'm saying is, You think about opening hip hop verses.
Oh, you said no opening verse. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
his opening verse. He has gems for days, and I think he's probably the most
I didn't
slept
catch that.
on. He's one of the most slept on members of that collective. Easily.
Who do you think has the best opening verses in hip hop?
Ooh, Biggie has some. Biggie has Biggie.
You gotta say Deck though.
I think Deck. I'm
gonna
say P.
I'll say Prodigy.
P. Deck.
Like opening
Biggie.
lines. Opening lines.
Yeah, how you start this
Prodigy,
verse?
hands down, is the GOAT. Right. I put my lifetime in between the papers lines.
I break bread, ribs, $100 bills, Bill on the Cotties and other four. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, but also Biggie though.
All right.
First things first, I Papa freaks all the honeys, dummies, playboys, monies, hoes want money. I mean, you don't get better than that. Like, you know,
it was all a dream. I mean, shit.
Exactly. You could quote that one as well.
Here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. When I say those Prodigy lines in my regular voice, it still breaks through. If I say it was all a dream, it don't hit. It was all a dream. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a difference.
Right, but I think
say it. Big's voice was amazing, right? So it's almost a cheat code where Pete just lived on the actual bar.
Yeah, right. He said some wild shit when he started. He just said wild shit when he started to fuck around.
And Big also casted a large shadow too. And you want to talk about in terms of like really bleeding through to pop culture, you know, like Big was it, you know, in terms of like. And me and Fam had this conversation yesterday in terms of taking from Black creators and putting it into a white space, you know, in that early to middle 90s, you went to Big and Puff because of the way that they were moving and they were just creating this hype. Like how many other rappers prior were wearing Versace shirts and Versace shades?
I mean, Tupac was, but I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, but like, I'm talking about like people were going, whoa. Like,
yeah.
You know. Yeah, so that's that.
Yeah, Rakim is good too.
I ain't no joke. I used to, yeah.
I always used to get into arguments with people though about Rakim because I would say he's one of the GOATs, and then like a couple of my constituents and like some urban radio stations would be like, he's too dusty for me.
Dusty?
That's weird.
Like
whoever said that is weird.
I would just leave
body talk without.
I would just leave the studio. I'm like, you're an idiot. I would just leave the studio.
But see, here's the thing. Like even with the Wu-Tang, you wouldn't even have a lot of that God body talk without Rakim.
That's what I'm saying.
You
so
know
everybody takes something from everybody. Like everybody influences something from everybody.
You feel me? Like,
so
to me, the DJ
No, go ahead and get your point off because I'm a transition here.
All right. To me, there's some of the best DJ MC duos, right? Like when you think about it, it's Rakim and Eric B. And then everybody else. Just because of the influence.
The only thing is Eric B, once you know, Eric B was a money man. Rakim was almost basically doing everything. You know what I'm saying? He was. So when you
got to have somebody somebody's got to put up the bread though.
But what I mean is when you talk about impact as a duo, as far as like a DJ and an MC, I think Rakim, it was really just Rakim. Eric B didn't have that much impact, especially not compared to a DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince or a Gangstar.
Yeah.
I think Gangstar, first of all, I mean,
well, listen, I think, but you're also talking about DJ Premier, who is a god in my eyes. But if you're talking about that influential combo, a lot of people emulated Eric B and Rakim in terms of style and lyrical iteration, and in terms of the subjective manner. Gangstar is all time, but a lot of people weren't copying Gangstar. A lot of people were copying Eric B and Rakim. You can't do what Guru and Primo were doing. It's virtually impossible. Even the groups that they worked with, like Group Home and Bush Babies, they tried to have that Gangstar sound, and they had some really dope songs. But Gangstar is Gangstar. You can emulate Eric B and Rakim because you could take the language and the blueprint in which they laid out, and then you could add a spin on it. But you're still tapping the source, and Eric B and Rakim was tapped in the source. But again, this is all just personal preference and stuff like this is all subjective stuff.
That's
like,
yeah, absolutely. So
you know, that's the type of discourse that we can have here. It's not like Twitter where you're gonna get beat up and blown up on the tweets because you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, but around friends, you can have this conversation.
Absolutely. So sometimes, so we it's dope that we're talking about this era MC. We have a versus coming up, right?
Yeah.
And it's Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One. A lot of people thought it should be Kane and Rakim because they actually had you know what I mean, an issue back in the day. A lot of people thought it should have been KRS and Rakim, as they were, especially that era, nigga, like considered those guys. They were the precursor to Nas and Jay. Like when they started a top five, instead of starting Nas and Jay-Z, it was KRS and Rakim, like the 88, the folks that came of age around the 88, 89 era. So we got
but remember, Cold Chillin' Records started it all, and that was 87 or 86. I'm trying to remember,
but
I know my mentor would scream on me. I should know that. But Cold Chillin' was a part of
came out in 88.
Right, but also you got to remember too, though, like Kane's association with Juice Crew makes it why it should be, you know, the verses that we're gonna get.
I think they got it right. I think they got this right.
Absolutely.
Because I love Rakim. I think Rakim is the father of modern lyricism. He's the precursor of Nas.
Say that for me again. So it's KRS and
Big Daddy Kane.
It's KRS and Big Daddy Kane is the verses.
Okay. All right, cool. No, go ahead.
So he's Rakim is all these things. But I've seen all these gentlemen live. Because of the format of what versus looks like now, Rakim doesn't want smoke with either Kane or Big or KRS-One as if not more than the songs.
Right, but you also got to remember too, Kane is respected because he's been on MTV, placed him number 7 in their all-time greatest lyricists of all time. Right, he was placed number 4 in Kumo D's book. There is a God on the mic, and he's the 50 greatest MCs. Right, RZA ranks him the top 5 greatest MCs of all time. Like, this dude is extremely influential with the pen because, again, I mean, listen to, like, he has records. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was the first braggadocious fly dude to talk about having fly shit on record.
But we're talking about verses right now, right?
He's got records.
Right. Got records. You know what I'm saying? We just watched Locks versus it's about performance at this point. You know what I'm saying? So who I've last seen perform I seen Rakim on a Tiny Desk. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really adept at keeping up with his own lyrics and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't sound like Rakim. I seen Big Daddy Kane do a whole fucking split at a performance or drop. All right, fuck it. I seen him drop a mic and act like, you know, the mic was broke, like tap it and then start rocking the crowd again. He has a real performance game going and shit. So I don't know if you would want that right now. And Big Daddy Kane has always been a fucking performer and shit. The problem is them niggas come out there and dancing and shit, and he, you know, put the leg over the top, like all that shit, and he can still do it. Come on, cuz.
But he
The
has.
problem is neither one of these guys want problems with knowledge reign supreme over nearly everybody. This nigga KRS
is he gonna be on channel live and shit?
He's going to. I hope so. He's going to kill Big Daddy Kane. I want y'all to know this. He's
wait. Now I understand that. I can understand where you're coming from. You know, he's a god body MC, but what is versus more though? It's a performance more than the records, because if you want to listen to it, some of the verses, you would assume the ones that have the better records are the ones that should be smoking the competition, but they're not. Case in point, Locks and Dipset. Let me tell you something. The Locks woke a lot of people up. They know we have to come correct for these things or we're going to look silly.
That's a fact.
If you want to compare KRS-One records to Big Daddy Kane's, I'm going to lean towards more it's a Big Daddy thing and Long Live the Kane, just because I prefer those more. And I'm a rapidy rap head. I can sit and listen to KRS-One all day. But man, after a while, it just sounds like the same over and over and over again.
Who do you think has the bigger record?
So
who has the bigger record?
I am actually
who has the bigger record out of them two? Like this?
What you say?
Huh?
Who has the bigger commercial set? The bigger commercial record?
No one's
the bigger commercial record.
I guess
Ain't No Half Stepping, bro. Huge. Bridges Over is great, but Ain't No Half Stepping's the radio record. Bridges Over wasn't a radio record. Bridges Over was a disc record that popped off.
Right, but it popped off, and everybody
but Ain't No Half Stepping. Right, but you could play Ain't No Half Stepping today, and like if you're doing like if you're going and doing specifically a hip hop night, and all the heads know it, the energy of Ain't No Half Stepping is cool. Bridges Over takes you down. Bum 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 boom.
But you know what I'll say though? It's going to be a lot of people online that connect with that just because it's a Bronx fucking song and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
listen,
yo,
when you get the piano joints,
like it makes me feel like that. That song gonna go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just because where they doing this shit at? Where they doing it? Huh? Are you doing it in New York?
I forgot the yes, in New York, of course.
Okay, all right, but fuck it. Motherfuckers gonna know, they gonna understand what that means.
Oh no. The crowd is going to be aware, and the problem is when you go singles, right? Because dudes turned on Big Daddy Kane toward the end of his career, because he did all those women focused records, and it didn't catch. KRS-One rocked from BDP to Step Into a World, so he's got records from the BDP and the, you know what I'm saying, and because when KRS-One does his verse from Self-Destruction, it's
oh wow, I forgot about that shit.
Got joint show but so KRS was relevant as in legitimate songs that niggas rock with from 89, 88 all the way up into 90, 96, 97.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So KRS-One had a longer run, so he's got more known records to dig from, and KRS is known as the top two performer in hip hop. It's KRS and Busta. Those are the two like gods of hip hop performance.
Let me ask you. Oh my bad. Go ahead.
Oh no, shout out to Kill.
I was gonna ask you, do you feel like that these are two people that like firmly represent these boroughs? You know what I'm saying? Like Big Daddy Kane, in the Bronx and shit. Do you think that it's kind of like it's going to be a real prideful situation going on there and shit? You know what I'm saying?
I believe so.
Or we just look at these as just two old school rappers. Like if it's in New York, people are going to show up.
I don't think there will be. I'll say I don't think it's going to be like firm like party lines like Brooklyn nigga Bronx, but I think you'll get some of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I
Fat
think
Joe
Big
definitely gonna
Daddy.
be in there like, yo, I'm in here for
Yo, I
KRS.
can't wait for the Fat Joe. The Fat Joe. Hey, yo, everybody was in there. It was crazy. And the nigga was saying, I said, oh, he said, please keep on faking. And I said, oh,
He gonna do it.
yeah,
gonna do
100%. He's going to be in the middle of the crowd looking right at them niggas. And he's from the Bronx. He might be
I
on
will
the stage.
listen to me. I will say this. You put on Step Into My World. To this day, people are gonna lose their shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Step Into My World had that really dope punk new wave sample with Blondie. And a lot, and let me tell you something. A lot of people, if you talk to a ton of producers, they will tell you they will sample a ton of 80s new wave synth and then chop it up because the keys are just so good on 80s new wave synth. So fucking good. But yeah, it should be an interesting one for sure. I want to see what they do. You know what I mean? But you know, Versus gets a lot of MCs talking, and they need to like, oh shit, like Locks came through. We gotta make it. We gotta perform, and we gotta know everything. We have to come correct, because if we don't come correct, we're gonna be left with our asses hanging out, and we're gonna be a laughing stock. Can't have that. Can't have that.
You know what? I also think KRS-One, people will be surprised by a lot of the shit that people have sampled from him. You know, you're gonna start hearing shit like a lot of younger audience is gonna be like, oh shit, whoop whoop, that's the sound of the police, whoop, like all that shit, and that's the sound of the
from the KRS-One record to the Black Star record. Lord, man, come on. Listen.
You might got a point. I'm rocking with you.
Listen, it's gonna be bad for Big Daddy Kane because a lot of people, because Big Daddy Kane is cooler than KRS-One, right? So I think that's kind of what the legacy is there, is that niggas like, oh nah, Kane is the precursor to Jay-Z. He's gonna kill KRS. That old school nigga. That's what's gonna happen.
Right, but people don't understand too that KRS-One was the first hip hop artist to bring sounds from Jamaica into hip hop, sampling sounds of Jamaica into hip hop music. Like, so he was really really into the sounds, man. So like, if you listen to like the early stuff, it's like, oh, I get it now. Makes sense.
Him doing all that Yeah. So we normally start the show with good, bad, and ugly, right? We're a good ways into the show. We're in the deep waters here. We're gonna go into the good, the bad, the ugly. Fellas, what's good with y'all this week?
Brock, what's good with you?
Trying to think, man. Everything is such a fucking blur, man. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm having a good fucking time living life, man, but I don't know if anything amazing has happened recently. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just enjoying myself, man. I'm just chilling, hanging out. I ain't got nothing to complain about. I'm good. I don't need to be doing that. I'm not a man. Listen, I stew in my my own. You know what I mean? Like, if I got something angry going on inside of me, I don't take it publicly. I just let it fester and then get rid of it.
Yeah, because you be on TV, you know what I'm saying, and you do yoga for 2 hours on, you know what I'm saying, on Thursday.
I did yoga for 2 hours yesterday, and then I meditated for another 45 minutes. So it was
that's dope, man. Good.
Well, there was some internal dialogue going on with myself, and I was like, all right, I woke up in a very, very bad mood. So I was just like, all right, let's take this day to myself, answer a couple of emails, and then say, hey, I'm out for the rest of the day. And you know, like, people want to say that, you know, exercise is whatever, it's a hobby. No, man, to be honest with you, Brock, movement is medicine. So if like you can
go
to the gym, you can go run, whatever, man. Like me sitting on my yoga mat yesterday put a lot of stuff in perspective, because it was my time. I didn't have to check my phone. I can just think and really like navigate into a headspace that can really like make me realize, okay, what's coming up for you? Why do you feel a specific way, and then how can we get through that? And then you do
Cool.
that by the process of movement and meditation and thought.
See, I mean, at the same time, I do that by hiking. You know what I'm saying? I go hiking, and I go out in the woods, and I meditate by the water. So
I never did that. I never went hiking.
Never. Really?
Never. I don't think I have the proper boots.
You don't need boots. You don't need boots at all. You know what I'm saying? The trails are pretty much worn out, and
And besides, I don't.
It's like Disneyland for outsides.
Right, and I don't trust myself with the lack of direction to go hiking in the woods either.
Check this out. That's what I was saying. Like everything in America has been plotted. You know what I'm saying? This is not going to fucking Curacao or Colombia and jumping off into a bush and trying to figure your way out. It's like markings on the maps, everything. And we've killed all the animals, like the real animals in America. So it's not really like you're not gonna meet a bear for real if you.
So if I go on vacation in Seattle and I want to go to like the forest and just walk around, I'll be able to do that and not get eaten by a bear, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Get your pistol.
No. Seattle, like, it's too much shit happening out there. You know what I'm saying? If you go to Oregon, too far out in Oregon, maybe. But
okay,
Seattle, like, it's too much human inhabitants, and it's like people like living there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna listen. I'm not like a camper. I'm not a hiker. Like I'm good. Like I'll take my shoes off and I'll go ground with the earth, but I'll sit in a mountain pose straight up. So try that. Take your shoes off, ground with the earth, right? I know this sounds real new age and hippie, and I know you see the beard and I got hair down to here. I know I'm like a vegan. I know I'm like whatever, right? Like
likewise.
I'm like the podcasting Rick Rubin, like, like,
hey yo.
But what you want to do is you want to connect with the earth and just breathe, right? Like
you could
just tap into source.
Yeah.
Fall back. I don't need to do that and go wander the trails. Like I wouldn't even I've been to LA a couple of times, this past year. I'm not trying to go up to like all my friends in LA. Yo, let's go to Runyon. Let's go to Runyon.
You want to go to Runyon?
I'm like, I ain't going to Runyon. I'm good. Like, I'll go to the yoga studio with y'all.
What's Runyon?
But I'm not. Runyon's like this, like
Canyon. It's like
Runyon Canyon. Like, I'm good with that. Like,
they got like a dope. What they got, like a dope Starbucks or something?
In Runyon, no, ain't nothing.
It's a hiking.
It's a hiking thing. It's for influencers to post a picture and to be like, "Hey, we went to Runyon today."
Right. It's a very safe.
Is that where is that anywhere near like the Redwoods or something?
No.
The Redwoods are deep. The Redwoods are high. That's something I would drive through because I do want to look at the big ass trees. But like to camp out and cook and none of that, I'm good.
Oh, I ain't doing that shit. I was supposed to do that when I just left from LA just recently, but the forest was on fire. But I was still kind of a little nervous. There's bears out there, motherfucker, like real bears and shit. I'm like, I'm not.
Yo, hey, boo boo.
Yeah, I'm not trying to breathe in like smoke and soot either. I just want to, I got no problems breathing in the toxic fumes from the Staten Island dump, but I'm good on this.
So Vince says the Sparks is not going hiking. He said they went through it with their audience. And they told him they'd rather take his lead and do yoga over camping. I think our audience would agree.
Let's be honest. Let's keep it a buck, right? Would you want to do yoga with me? And you really get this eye-opening enlightenment thing, and we could talk about how energy is not good or not bad. It's just there, but it's what you do with the energy that transfers into something else. Because this is how I talk. Or you could go sleep on the ground.
No. I want to drink beer and eat steaks.
But if I sleep on the ground, if I sleep on the ground, I can drink beer and eat steaks.
Yeah, you could do that.
I'm going in the floors.
But then also you could drink beer and eat steaks after the hour that we sweat, and you have this like life-changing moment.
It's all about how you connect, man. Because I have those same conversations out in the woods, smoking weed and chilling out. You know what I'm saying, and meditating and having a great fucking time. You know,
but flow with me. But Brock, flow with me.
Let's go.
Let's asana together, and we can practice, and we can share in the space of the breath work and the meditation, and flow together and share in this like communal atmosphere. And then we hug it out and be like, oh, this was amazing. Thank you for opening up my eyes. And I'll be like, no, thank you for sharing with me as well.
I've had that same conversation
I
over
don't have any
a
problem
couple
with
of
yoga.
40s
I don't have a
on a
problem with
stoop.
yoga.
Right. But it's all about the yoga though. There's an experience to do it.
There's an experience if you know what you're doing hiking. I'm not sleeping out that motherfucker.
All
I'll
right,
tell you
no.
that.
So I'm gonna be honest. When we do these, now Vin, you know, what I mean, shout out to Vin Forte, amazing podcaster, amazing broadcaster in general. You know what I'm saying? And I say that out here, but I've said it in private to other people. Vin always leaves dope commentary specifically on Where's Buffy. Today he says he'll cook you a nice beef stew and cornbread over the fire and catch fish by the river. Are you gonna pass that up for some downward dog?
And
I
most of
was-
our audience said they would
All right,
rather
hold on,
pass
what
that
happened?
up
What
and do
happened?
down
Hold on.
dog with Sparks.
What happened? I'm sorry.
He's saying he would
Yeah.
he's
Yeah. Okay, cool.
he's saying he prefers the
I see it.
campfire and the beef and cornbread. And it all depends on who you doing the downward dog with. That being said, this week, Little Kim and 50 Cent got into it online.
See, they need to do yoga
Right?
together.
They sure do.
They need to do yoga together.
50 Cent plays this video of Kim dancing, and then he juxtaposes it with a scene from, I don't know, Leprechaun from the Hood or whichever Leprechaun movie it was, where the Leprechaun was doing a similar movement backwards, and Miss Jones, Lil' Kim Jones, caught the feelings. Did anybody else get as much of a kick out of this, the original video, as I did? Because I chuckled.
Oh, I laughed.
Of course.
You know what it is too? I think a lot of people just take themselves seriously.
Right.
And you know, there's certain images to uphold. And when you call yourself the queen bee and you have a very, very vocal fan base that will come out in droves and argue and defend you, you're gonna be a little sensitive. Feel me?
Yeah.
But if you know 50 and you see 50's social media, he jokes on everybody. Like
Right.
nobody's safe.
Yeah. Equal
Yeah,
Nobody's
like
safe.
she went to coming back to that old picture of 50 when he had lost all that weight for the movie that nobody saw, and she, you know, try to remind everybody. We know nobody saw or know the name of the movie where 50 was anorexic because he was dying. Nobody knows what that movie was. That's cool, but it would have been much funnier if Kim would be like, "Good one." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it got nasty for no reason. And Fifth, knowing how to read a room, didn't come back with Venom like old 50 would have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean?
TV producer Fifth's a completely different atmosphere than rapper Fifth.
And he
50's
knows who he's talking to. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, he was getting away. What's that girl name on Love and Hip Hop, whatever? Like he got that one right off at the buzzer beater. You know what I'm saying? Tiara Marie, like way he was treating her, and then the Me Too movement happened. You can't do that now. You know what I'm saying? You just
No, you have to operate in a different way.
Nah,
you
you
have to
definitely
be
can't.
able.
You can't be publicly beefing with a woman with a woman like that. You know what I mean? Let that shit go.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
he definitely played it smart. Kim came with a much meaner tone. She was very, very angry about it.
Now, shout out to Lil' Kim,
Yo.
though, man. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Yo, shout out to Rory and Maul. Rory and Maul signed a big podcasting deal this week, rumored to be around $10 million. I hear it's more like 6, but hey, I ain't got one. So shout out to them niggas. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a dope look for them guys. Have you guys listened to the Rory and Maul show post Joe Budden?
No.
Other than the one where they vented and, you know, told the tale of their side of the story. They actually put together a decent. Now, I'm going to tell you, they forced Joe Budden to step his visuals up. Shout out to them for that. But they're putting out decent content, and it's proving to me the thing I knew from the first month or two of I'll name this podcast later, that Rory is a decent A mic. So shout out to them niggas for getting the bag, man.
Shout out to them, man. Not bad.
Yeah, 100%. The ugly this week, false equivalencies, man. These niggas, so we all know the story. Brother Kyrie Irving will not be forced to take the vaccine. As it is his right, and he says he's standing up for folks that don't, that want to have freedom, because that's what, I mean, I have my opinion on why he's doing it, but either way, that's what he says. This week, his NBA is not allowing him to play. You know what I'm saying? Or I guess the rules in New York are not allowing him to come into the arena unvaxxed. Is that correct?
Yes.
You gotta be vaxxed to go everywhere, Sparks.
Yeah. Yes, you have to be or show case, proof of vaccination. Yes.
Right. People are saying that they're comparing his not getting vaccination. They like the NBA won't let Kyrie play, but they let Magic Johnson play.
What Karen said this?
Yo, it wasn't Karen's. It
has to be the Karens who had to be a Karen.
It does sound very Karen-y, but it was us. It was some good folks.
A lot of conflation.
The Black Twitter, the Black social media.
Conflating two.
Yeah, they saying, Magic play with AIDS. You know what I mean? He could play without a vaccine. Come on, yo. I wish somebody would say that Kyrie Irving is the new Muhammad Ali to my face. I fight him like Muhammad Ali.
That would provoke violence, yo. I ain't gonna lie. That would provoke a lot of violence.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
there's nothing wrong.
Man. And speaking of boxing, rest in peace to my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury did him bad. You know what I mean? But anyway, keep going.
Look, man, there's nothing wrong with having a stance on something that you believe in, right? And
correct.
And if you don't want to play and it's your belief, then that's fine. But what happens now is there are a ton of others who feel this way that might not necessarily know what this gentleman is feeling, because he's never really outright said, this is why I'm uncomfortable with getting the jab, and then you have all the conspiracy theorists and the microchippers or whatever, right? Like, oh, it's politicized, whatever the case may be. It is in his right, because he is an American, to have a freedom of speech that says, I am uncomfortable with taking this. Now, his actions have consequences for that, though, because he is a public figure. He might be under more of a microscope, and says he will not get the vaccine. That's fine. That is your business. It is your body, and it's your choice. But now you cannot play. Yeah. So the thing that you're great at, you can't do.
Right. And he looks at it as he's doing this major thing, you know what I'm saying? And he's taking a stance. I think Kyrie is one of the worst people to take a stance on something, as to be the guy to look to, right? Because people already look at this guy as a complete nut because he's a flat earther. His interviews and internet lives have been wildly nonsensical, and he's a general nut. Like he's in what were Philly?
But he still has the right, though. But he still has the right to say what he wants to say.
Oh, completely.
We might not agree with it.
Also completely true.
We might not agree with it,
I
but
I
but
I wish they had a better spokesman. Like I wish there was someone because I don't mind there being uh an object or a different opinion than my opinion, right? My problem becomes when the dude that's trying to tell me what's right from wrong has a track record of just talking nonsense. I don't even want to argue because you bought this guy to argue. I don't care what this guy says.
Yeah, I don't think Kyrie is working with the people that's painting the narrative about him. You know what I'm saying? Like he just
yeah, no,
makes
he's
sense.
not. He's not.
So it's like at the same time, you can choose whether to, fuck with him or not. I just think that he is one of those people that likes to think freely and likes to make his own decisions. And it's been a narrative around him for the stances that he's made against the general population.
I think sadly,
And
I
at the
think
same time, some people agree with him, some people don't.
some people don't. And I think sadly that the whole idea of vaccinations has become so highly politicized.
Yeah.
And now it becomes a thing of, well, I do care about the public service and I care about making sure that none of us get infected, but you can't tell me what to do. And there's a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
Now you can't invoke and you can't force it, you can't do this. But the only reason why that a lot of these individuals or a lot of governmental laws are being put in place right now is because when you only have a low base of the percentage of the American population being vaccinated to stop stronger variants of anything, if you're not listening and complying to do that, then this is going to go on for years and years and years and years and years. So stop being stupid and fucking do the right thing. But when you wag a finger in your face and say, well, you can't do this. Now you have to do you can't enter this, you can't enter that. Son, when you had the mayor of New York City looking crazy, talking about, I can eat all the French fries that I want, go get vaccinated, you can get the French fries too. That's stupid.
Yeah,
that's dumb.
Yeah, and I think that's the same problem is messenger is bad. You know what I'm saying?
And
it's like
anything political. They're not paying attention to they're not even paying attention to the science of it, right? Like whether or not people have conflicting interest of Dr. Fauci, whatever, right? But if you go and you listen to a real doctor or a nurse who have been fighting the fight since day one, they're going to tell you to get it done. But you should believe them over somebody that is in bed with big time pharma.
Yeah, true.
So that's where it comes down to.
Yeah, and I think that, but I think that mayor is the same thing as Kyrie. Is like the messenger is bad. I think protect all women is an amazing message. But if Bill Cosby said it, we wouldn't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's the problem with this to me is that it's just coming from it's just noise from the wrong corner of the room. It's like Nelly saying support real hip hop.
I mean,
leave Nelly alone.
We live in the information age, though, bro. So I'm not looking for any of these goofy ass people to, what I mean? Like, I can pinpoint where I want to receive information from and not look like it's like Ja Rule, please say something. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of them. I don't need Ja Rule to say something about
what does Ja have to say at a time like this.
Help me, Ja. Like, no, I don't need that shit. You know what I mean?
Yo, all right. We did not podcast last week as the normal unit, and I think this will be the last thing we talk about this week. To wrap things up, did you guys watch the Dave Chappelle special?
Yes,
I did.
What were your thoughts? First, the bare bones. Was it funny?
I think so. Not as funny as everything else, but it's probably the least of this section of Netflix specials and shit. You know what I'm saying? For me,
I think it's rough with the subject matter, and how sensitive everybody is, and everybody is a complete critic now. But it's comedy. So could you really like stand on a soapbox and say, I'm offended by this? I mean, comedy's been offending everybody since the dawn of time. So like, and it's all subjective and interpretive. So is it like, is he striking a nerve with what he's saying? Yeah, he's supposed to. That's what a comedian does. He's supposed to come out and talk about the innate and obscene and just complete nonsensical, because you're supposed to have a satire on the world, and as a comic you have this creative license to view the world and narrate the world and be an intrepid interpreter of the world. So I mean, just say it.
So Vince says it's comedy, but him saying he's Team Turf didn't get a laugh.
I mean, some jokes are gonna hit flat. I mean, some of our favorite comics ain't gonna come out and eviscerate the crowd all the time. Not everybody's Bill Burr.
Right. Bill Burr.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, like you tuning in for this shit. You know what I'm saying? So Dave Chappelle has done like at least 4 specials where he's progressively offended the audience. You know what I'm saying? Like he hasn't showed you any sign of remorse, for the offensive things that he said. So when you tune into what he's saying, you play at your own risk.
Right, but but what happens is too, you are creating your audience. So you are now cultivating the audience in which you want. Does Sebastian Maniscalco, are y'all going to go see Sebastian Maniscalco? Maybe not. Am I going to sit and watch Sebastian Maniscalco? Absolutely. Why?
Who?
Because exactly. Sebastian Maniscalco is an Italian comic.
Right.
Who hosted the MTV Music Awards a couple of years ago, or whatever.
Not like you couldn't go like Dom Herrera.
Right. But like in this day and age, like Sebastian's one of the guys, right? Kevin Hart's one of the guys. Like you're gonna go. A lot of people are gonna go see Sebastian and Kevin over Chappelle because they're a different type of comedy, where they'll make fun and they'll like blur some lines,
But they play it
but
safe.
at the end of the day, like, it's just gonna be funny. Chappelle's a little bit different. He wants his audience to be really something that caters to how he thinks and how he reacts. So that's why like this special is completely different from the last special and the last special before that and the last special before that. So I mean, everybody has a desired taste.
I don't think it's different because he kind of tied the through line of all of them at the end.
Right, but I feel like this one was almost from the jump. This is what I'm talking about all night. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He honed in on this one thing and just went like, this is
this was the denouement. Like, this was that moment. Like, this was them getting there and him getting there, and like all this Netflix stuff was building to this moment. The funniest part about everything that's gone on with the trans community and blah 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 and all these jokes, and we'll get back to that part of it, is that I was shocked that he got away with the space Jews joke.
And you're just gonna say it again on YouTube?
I'm just saying, that was his punchline. I was just surprised that
we ain't get the 40 million yet, yo. We ain't get the 50 million yet, yo.
I didn't make the joke.
I'm playing with you.
Right, but again, what is your fan base? Who are you trying to target?
Right.
Because the way that some of those jokes were coming off, kind of MAGA orientated.
I disagree.
You don't think so?
No. And the reason why I'll say that,
oh, come on.
The reason why I say no is that a great deal of it was him talking about what feminism is, which is feminism is more MAGA than what he was talking about, because feminism,
right? But also at the same time too, like, he's a man, so you can't really talk about feminism. You're not going to really understand it.
Well, he went into the Webster's dictionary's definition of what feminism is, and I
can't
think
though. If
Why
you have
not?
this if you have this conversation with your wife or you have this conversation with your girl, what is your definition of feminism is going to be different from theirs.
But see, here's
And we
I
don't-
don't want
hold
my
up.
definition. I want the definition. If
But there
understand
is
what
no
I mean.
the definition.
I think you're missing a point. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be feminism, whether it be LGBTQ, whether it be whatever else it is, the main through line is that he's saying whenever black people get mad at white people, they assign themselves some, that he mentioned Susan B. Anthony and Sojourner Truth saying, "Ain't I a woman?" He mentioned LGBTQ, like, oh yeah, you getting mad at me. A white man says, "Oh yeah, I'm a girl now." That's what the point he's trying to make. You know what I'm saying? It's not about these particular groups. It's more about black versus white people. And the whole punching down joke and things like that, and drawing like kind of the connection between us two. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get to know somebody personally, you don't have all these like taboo type of feelings about this person or the other and shit. You understand, like, oh yeah, this is a bigger agenda that we all trying to separate ourselves for no reason.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't usually like to get into super deep stuff, but I'll say this. I think there is a level of bullying in hyperliberalism, right? To where when these causes and things that lean left, at times, if you go against anything, it's cancel culture. Cancel culture isn't a right-wing idea, right? It's a left-wing idea, and I feel like cancel culture is the left getting righty, if you understand what I mean. It's them meeting one extreme with theirs and getting it wrong. I feel like when we try to get an idea out of here instead of sitting down and busting it up about said idea and said difference of opinion, instead of let's turn this off, let's put his light out, and let's not allow this thing to shine and get its voice out because it doesn't fall in line with my thought, so let's cancel it, instead of let's fix it. And that's what I loved about what he said about the baby, right? Because you know what I'm saying? You allowed a baby, the baby killed the nigga. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. But
only thing I will say about
in self-defense.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let's be honest. Yeah. No. He wasn't. He didn't just pop him.
It was just used for comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Correct. But we canceled the baby because the baby didn't fall in line with what we thought people should say about that community. And it was a young man who got it wrong the way he gave it out.
Right. But what I'll say, though, there is an ignorance, though.
Correct. No.
So it's like, so, and you know it, you get it. We're all in agreement here. Like there's a difference between saying the right and saying the wrong.
But let's not pull the plug
on it. No, of course.
No,
you shouldn't.
But
fix it, have the discussion, but also at the same time, no. But you also can't say, you can't say, I don't know, like stuff that
you can say. I think that's it.
You could, but there's a way to do it though.
Everything you can say everything because right or wrong, it begins the discourse. You see what I'm saying? And that's
I would much rather him have a one-on-one with somebody than doing it. But yes, I would much rather have Dave Chappelle have a one-on-one.
That was the whole point of that story about the lady Daphne.
Right.
Like actually employing somebody that's a transgender and talking to them, and then incorporating them in the show.
Right.
That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think there's a way that you can really navigate and be funny and make your point, but there's also a lot of sensitivity around certain things right now.
Correct.
So you
But
have to figure out what works for you, like what works.
But
That's all.
this is the
But
last
honestly,
one.
how much did you
Last
laugh
thing
at
to
that
say.
special though? Like how many times did you laugh?
I
I left a good
quite a
amount of
bit.
time.
Yeah, quite a bit.
But what I would say is it's always sensitivity. It's just about if you're not the particular person being targeted,
Then it's funny to you.
then it's funny to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
think everybody should be able to be made fun of.
Everybody should, and everybody should be able to laugh at themselves as well.
Yeah, just let it
That comes
go.
from, but the growth comes introspectively when you're able to poke fun at yourself, when you're able to be like, yeah, you know what, okay, right, like yes, everybody's a little too sensitive nowadays. It's a joke, let it go, keep it moving. But unfortunately, the way it goes now,
That is
the
true.
College of Public Opinion, there is
Yeah.
a far outcry. So now you have comedians that try to think outside the box and try to paint the world in actually the colors that they are.
Mhm.
You get chastised for doing that
That is correct.
because everybody
I
wants to
think,
live. Everybody thinks that, and I got into a discussion with a friend yesterday, and she said that you need to start living in a world of gray. It's just too black and white. And I go, no, unfortunately, the world is just black or white. Sometimes it becomes it becomes gray to a certain degree, but if you look at like the way the world is, there's a lot of black and white. Like people don't paint within a shade of gray.
I'm gonna tell you like this.
Mhm.
Patrice O'Neill died
One of the
from
best.
Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr's comedy sets and their freedom in comedy right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he's able to cultivate and kind of branch out on those type of ideas and really bring people together in a certain way that, you know, at the very least, you're not just turned away and not listening to it. We're discussing it right now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
But you also have to
It's
have a
not-
responsibility though. You have to have a
Well,
responsibility
he did
though.
it irresponsibly though. He didn't.
No,
just
I'm
get
not
up there
saying
and
that
say,
he did, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like there comes a responsibility in handling such discourse. Like even the
Okay.
way we're having the conversation right now, we
Right.
know as broadcasters that we have to have and own up to a level of responsibility because you
Absolutely.
cannot alienate your audience. Because no
Gotcha.
matter what, at the end of the day, the right and the left will still come and listen to Where's Buffy.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, I don't know
Right, that's a
about
good
the
point.
right
That's a
niggas,
great
man.
point.
The right niggas don't fool with it. We not really they shaded. You know what I mean? They like 2%
Right.
milk, you know what I mean, whole milk. They don't dabble much in the chocolate milk over there on the right. You know what I mean? These aren't you know what I mean, Condoleezza Right vibes over here. You know what I mean? But
I'm glad. I'm glad.
100%. But in all seriousness, I really think, and you can tell, right, it by their level of comfortability talking about sensitive topics, how questionable people like, you know what I mean? Like you can't just go to a guy and be like, hey, look, we're gonna talk about X, Y, and Z, and they be like, oh no, I'm not getting into that because I don't get into that. And usually when a guy is like that, it's because he's got some fairly extreme views. You know what I'm saying? And I'll even go into a guy I'm a huge fan of, like a Busta Rhymes, where he's very West Indian, very old school. You ask this man about the LGBTQ, you mean plus minus, he will not get into it because he knows, you know what I mean? He knows that truth, Mike, where he really feels. Because West Indian niggas don't tolerate, they don't talk about that stuff.
He's a Jamaican guy. You feel me? Like they got
Yeah,
buggery
exactly.
laws. They got buggery laws over there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they
Like,
don't deal. But I just want to give folks an example of not just, you know what I'm saying, right wing niggas. Like it's niggas over here with us that won't speak on certain topics because they feel strongly in the you know what I'm saying, in the opposite of what them as part of black and supposedly liberal culture. Black people aren't as liberal as they say. They assume, you know what I'm saying? But that's it's people know when not to and when to speak on things that they that are sensitive subjects, man, because they know that their views are extreme.
I think that's smart.
I mean, it's just listen. It's difficult when to do your art in an extremely sensitive world right now. You know, the world is very, very PC, so it's difficult. You know, so that's the one thing. So you know, but again,
especially in
I
an
believe
art
if you
form that
it's supposed to offend everybody. Yes,
not even necessarily it's supposed to offend, but it's based on your you laugh at things because of how you relate to it, and relationships are some of the truest things. You know what I'm saying? You can't dispute it. You relate to it or you don't. So because comedy is built on your reaction to how he relates or whoever the comic is relates to that topic, the authenticity is everything. And the more PC you have to become, the less authentic it is.
I don't know about that. I think as a creative, if you're brilliant like a Chappelle is, I think you can do comedy in any context and really make it funny. You know what I mean? Without alienating. I don't know. You know what I mean? But
hey, Mike Tyson can beat a lot of niggas up with one hand behind his back, but it's much more entertaining to watch him beat niggas up with two.
Yo, I mean, what I say, yo, like, I don't think we any more PC than any other time. You know what I'm saying? This is not like new. Like they had a time where you couldn't gyrate your hips on the stage. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
but I think but I think Brock, because of
hold on, let me say this. In these times, that's when you get people that break outside of that mold and push culture. It's always going to happen. We always going to go through these cycles where we become so offended by what we did in the 90s. You had Jerry Springer. You had fucking all types of wild ass shit in the 90s and the early 2000s. People calm down. Then you get to a point where, you know, it's too PC, too comfortable for everybody. What about two dicks? That's crazy. I want to look down and see two dicks while I'm making a point. That's all I'm going to say. After that, then people want to push those boundaries. I got no more to say. Can you put that back up there so I know there's not like just like I got pause.
Read it for us, Brock.
I've said this before though. I feel way more comfortable. Whoa, openly gay around black people. In my own experience, white people get violent. Black people I've met don't care as long as I'm not like wagging two dicks. What the fuck?
He's saying
meaning as long as meaning. So what he's saying is,
I know exactly what he's saying.
Yeah. So what he's saying is,
I just don't know this guy. So I just like, I'm like,
oh yeah, Vin's a good guy.
It's a lot of information.
Vin's funny.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What you said what he's saying is what?
No. So I guess what he was saying is as long as you don't like, you know.
Oh, is this guy is personally gay?
Vin?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, cool. Like I didn't know that. Like I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Shout out to you, man. I'm just saying, like, you know, it's always gonna be something where people like try to fucking, you know, push the boundaries of society. It's always gonna happen.
Absolutely.
You know? And I think that's what Dave Chappelle is doing, you know, and you're gonna have
there's nothing wrong with that though, but there's nothing wrong with that. But I think you have to really paint in a different context now, because I think social media is the college of public opinion. And even though it's so small, right, in regards to like, let's say even like wrestling Twitter, they're the loudest voices in the room. And then everything gets misinterpreted, and then a tweet can get taken out of context, and then everybody's going to rally for it or against it, depending on the conversation and depending on like how somebody's like dying on whatever soapbox. You know,
the thing I really liked about what Brock said earlier is talking about this era isn't really more or less PC than other areas, right? Or other eras.
No, you just have a loud audience talking loudy. That's
but
it.
It's like a sliding scale. Like it's the number line thing. It not necessarily the people on that part of the number line is that loud. So it's not that negative. It's not the -9 this time. It's the +9. It's the left now that are telling you, hey, not like it used to be. Hey, don't say that because we've done this so long. It's got to be right. Now it's no. It's been done so long. It's been done so wrong for so long. Now we can't talk about it because you got to be wrong. The problem is
We gotta go completely to the
either
other
way,
Yeah.
saying don't talk about it is always the wrong idea because
Yes, I
not
agree
talking
with that.
about it, which is a very American concept, by the way, not talking about it is a certain way to let things fester and die. It's like a nigga with diabetes covering his feet up because he got sores on.
Well, I mean, isn't that? But I mean, that's just the American way. Just like repress it, repress it, repress it.
Oh yeah,
It is.
Force it down.
That is absolutely my point. And that being said, I think we're going to end on that note. Brother Sparks, where can the
Appreciate
folks? Thanks for coming through first and foremost.
Yes, thank you, man.
Always
Big
fun
blast.
talking.
Time.
I think it may be more fun, not talking pro wrestling. Where can the folks get at you? Where can they listen to all your fine content, and where can they grab some of that fine haberdash that you may or may not have for sale?
You can go to lapelia.com, type in Rasselrap, WRASSLERAP, all the information if you want to grab some t-shirts, some shorts, some hats, or even a swagged out polo shirt. You can go to Rasselrap on Twitter and Instagram at Rasselrap, WRASSLERAP. As for me, you can tweet me and grab me at Emilio Sparks, EMILIOSPARKS. I produce some of your favorite podcasts, so come hang out, see my stuff, listen to the shows that I work on. It's all cool. So that's that. What? I can't wait for Sparks to produce an episode of Black Wrestling. It will be a great 10-minute episode. You have no idea. You have no idea what I have in store for Emilio Sparks produced episode of Black Wrestling. Me and Math will definitely be arguing the entire time.
That sounds about right. But
yeah, find me on all those places. If you want to talk, you want to flow, you want to do some yoga. Let's go at Emilio Sparks. I also on MLW. You can catch that on Vice. MLW.com. Buy some cool merch. We have a really cool event coming up in November. For more information, follow MLW on the Twitter.
That being the case, I am IlFam79 on your social media choice, aka the Arn Anderson of podcasting, aka Earl Avert, aka
I like that.
Captain Brew Albano, Brew Diamond Phillips, Sticky the Dragon, Steamboat, Cheeto Santana, Pod Champ, Pod God's favorite podcast, the Potty Piper. I made a podcast, Chew Bubblegum. And I'm all out of Dentine Ice at Where's Buffy on all social media. Where's Buffy.com. And my tag team partner.
Before I get into, I ain't doing all that shit that they'll be doing. Fat Boy Diz be doing. I did it earlier, you know what I'm saying?
It's endless. I just come on and say hi. I'm Emilio.
I'm not doing that. It's Broadly Balboa, Broadly_Balboa on everything pretty much. You know what I'm saying? You can check me out on Herbs Day. I will be restocking on the goddamn elderberry syrup. And I'm just out here, man. You know, talking shit while I'm spit. You feel me?
Oh, you the plug for the elderberry?
Yeah.
We gotta talk.
Yes. I wrote down all the stuff that you was talking about, man. Like I will be seeing you. You know what I mean?
All right.
Hey man, other than chefing the elderberry, you got something in the works too, right? Or can we talk about
that? I mean, I just posted something else, you know, about that today or whatever. But we just started a new podcast called Officially Straight Man Shit. But you can find it at Straight Man Podcast or whatever, where we talk about manhood. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
And I want to have all types of people on there. Don't get confused by the title. You know, you could be gay, you could be woman, you can be whatever, you know, you want. But I just want to challenge this idea of manhood. You know what I'm saying? What do we all think about it? What is it actually? You know what I'm saying? Is it Russell Westbrook wearing the dress, or is it, you know, this? We're going to talk about all that type of stuff there. You know?
There are 64 crayons. You know what I mean? The box is the box, man. But that being said, before we delve into any other serious topics. Adrian Broner, save us.
Gang, if I don't fuck with you, they don't fuck with you.
Well, I think it's their choice, isn't it?
Man, gang, you know what that means? Gang, take the L out of lover. It's over, brother.